We begin our meditation today. Let's begin with the awareness. That we exist, an infinite being, immortal. Source of all possibilities. Timeless, changeless. To really appreciate that in your meditation, you need to let go of everything that is time-based. What is going to let go? The ego. You, the ego, need to let go. If you let go, you still exist. If you don't identify with the ego, you still exist. You don't need an ego to experience your timelessness. It is beyond the ego. For the ego to experience that state, it has to let go of everything and just be. Then the ego gets an experience of that which is beyond it. That which is incomprehensible. That which cannot be understood by the mind. But that which can be merged into. That is called the self. Infinite, transcendent, changeless, source of all possibilities, beyond form, beyond name, beyond attributes. Just let go and let your ego experience that which is beyond it, infinite, boundless. And if the ego needs to assert something, just I am. If it needs to assert something, that it may stay detached from everything else, just I am. I exist. I am. And even if that is difficult, and the ego needs to hold on to something, I am that. Which is beyond me, which is incomprehensible. I am that. Let your whole being rest in that. Beyond thought you exist. Beyond ego identification you exist. In infinite love you exist. In infinite wisdom you exist. In infinite goodness you exist. And in that existence, observe. Use the power of observation or witnessing. Observe physicality. That is an experience in the self. Observe your mental existence, the plane in which you create thoughts, store thoughts, processed thoughts, observe that mental plane of being. It's a very powerful plane. Just observe the plane of mental energy. It's associated with the brain and the third eye. Let there be peace in that mental plane. And let that peace be boundless, transcendent. The peace beyond all understanding. The peace that passeth all understanding. And if you breathe into the chest area, the subtle energy in the chest, the heart center is associated with the emotional plane. Another plane of energy that is in your experience, your ego's experience and field. As you open up to that emotional plane, just breathe into the chest and hold the awareness of infinite love. In infinite love I exist. All these are echoes of the pure ego. In infinite love I exist. And as you say, just observe how it feels. Just breathe away everything that limits your loving being. All the shadows in the emotional plane, just breathe them away and welcome the light, the cleansing light of the self. Tat savitur varenyam bhargo devasya. The Gayatri Mantra describes that cleansing light. And this is how you train your ego. To come into that state of purity. That it may experience that which is beyond it, that which is transcendent. Keep on breathing into the chest area. Into the throat. And the awareness of the third eye. And now let's not deprive the physical body of this beautiful experience of soul consciousness by breathing into the belly. Accepting the body for what it is. It's a gift of life. Open the belly to breathe, welcoming the energy and the presence of every cell, every cell. Bone cells, blood cells, skin cells, muscle cells, eye cells, liver cells. So welcome every cell. And it's easy to do that by bringing your entire physical body in your mental field. Allow yourself to feel every part of the physical body. Creating total body awareness. And as you breathe, ensure that you focus on the third eye and the medulla point at the back of the neck as you draw prana from the external space to nourish the nervous system of the body and the brain. As you open up the lower area and you're more into body consciousness, as you revitalize the body, restore the body's energies, you can repeat a mantra in this space. That the energy of the mantra may resonate with the well-being of the physical body. Simple, Om Guru, Om Soham. Or even the longer mantras if you like them. Shorter mantras are good with the breath. Let everything happen in a space of silence. Om. Om Guru, Om Guru. So Hum. Om Bhurvuvasva. Tat Savitur Varenyam. Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi. Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. That's how the long mantras are said. Om Bhurvuvasva. Tat Savitur Varenyam. Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi. Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Expand your awareness now to the field around you. Open your awareness to the earth and its presence. You're doing that through the physical body and physical senses. The gross physical body is related to the earth. Begin to breathe deeply of the air again. Become aware of the water element within the body and in the atmosphere. And the sense of taste in the body. You're building gross awareness once again, and awareness of the elements of nature through the physical senses. Open the belly to breathe, and focus on light, seeing, and fire element, warmth in the body, warmth in the space. And breathe deeply into the gut. Then breathe into the chest area as you become more aware of the air around you, the sense of touch, skin awareness. Breathe into the throat, opening up to hearing and space. And focus on the third eye, externally focused. That's the manas operation, operating with the senses and the elements. And give attention to your day ahead, to your soul's journey through another day on this earth plane, in a physical body with physical senses, in a relationship with the elements through the body. It's another day in the karmic play, seeking to grow in consciousness through working out the karmas that appear on the stage around you. I center my consciousness in my infinite being. In that source of infinite peace within me, infinite love, infinite goodness, infinite vitality, infinite wisdom. I stay centered there, that my every thought, word and action in this day come from the light within me, the sattva quality, and be a blessing to my world. I give thanks for all the blessings I've received from the universe. And I pray to continue to unite my will with divine will in the human experience. May I always be held in the light. May I always walk in the light. And may I always be open to the grace of the universe. Om, peace, peace, peace. Namaskar everyone, it's Sunday again. a distinctly different day, if you can observe, energetically, a distinctly different day. The energies in our world a little more harmonious today, a little more. Not there where we need to be yet, but a little more. Today I just want to spend a few minutes with you, challenging your mind to think a little deeper, to go a little deeper into wisdom. The stories might be less as I cut through the chase, telling you as it is, hoping that you're ready for it. Today we stay on the subject of ahamkara or ahamkara. It is considered an antakarana, an inner instrument. Ego, an inner instrument. Ahamkara means eye maker, the maker of eyes. So your consciousness has this fascinating ability to create eyes, egos. Ponder upon that for a moment. How many shades of the ego we have within us, we express. That is the amazing ability of our essence, our infinite consciousness, our higher self, the ability to create eyes. And in the same way it has the ability to create either male body, either wise person or ignorant person, either loving person or a not so loving person, either kind person or either unkind person. Either proud person or either humble person. See how many eyes we can have? Each one gives a different experience. When you posture in humility, it's a different experience. When you posture in pride, it's a different experience. In self-righteousness. When you posture in love and kindness, it's a different experience. So, isn't it fascinating how we can posture in any eye? We can create any ego. And we build the ego in relationship with the universe. If we have negative experiences, we tend to be suspicious. We tend to be reactive. That's a particular ego. And if we have very positive experiences in life, we tend to be different, to build another ego, a more trusting ego, a more kind ego. For me, it's extremely fascinating to observe the many shades of ego within my own being that I can assume in the play and within the space. And to see how trapped we become in the ego, thinking that we are the ego. When we assume these masks or personas, we tend to become them. I am this, I am that. Little realizing that it's only a facade. It's only an outer form, an outer appearance. But inside, we can create any ego that we want to, and we can detach from it. That's the greatness, that we can detach from it. I'm not sure how many of you take a remote view, an objective view. That's called vairagya. a detached view. Because only when you can take a detached view, a truly detached view, can you begin to observe these many shades of ego and to be fascinated by ahamkara. I'm totally blown away by it. Fascinated that I can assume any ahamkara, any shades of the ego, and people think, oh my God, look what he has become. But in the interior of my being, I'm smiling. I'm assuming this. And suddenly people, oh my God, look what he has become. And the beauty is I can change it in a moment. But they may not believe that I can do that. They may think, oh, he's suspicious. He's hiding his true self. So it's a joy when you can observe this phenomenon. That is ahamkara. And then you begin to laugh at all these shades of egos that are around in the play. And never be fearful of an ego when you see it. Because when I see the different egos, I become very curious. I wonder what created that ego? What kind of life circumstances created that ego? And then I think, wow, let me play with this ego a little bit. So sometimes I may empower the ego. Wow, you're so wise. See what happens. The person starts to become, oh, I like you. If you challenge the ego, another story. People don't like you then. Perhaps a few. But the most important thing in the journey, if you want to grow, is that you need to take a remote view of the egos that exist within you and to see the fascination of ahamkara. And in the same way that you can create an ego, you can detach from it. And in the same way that you can assume one ego for a certain experience, you could change to another ego immediately, like a chameleon. Just change your colors to camouflage, to blend. And that's what I do. I become a child. With a wise person, I become the learned one. With a loving person, I become tremendously loving. When I'm in the profession, I'm the professional person. And I can play any role with such joy. In every role I play, I'm true to the self. I'm true to the self. There's honesty, there's sincerity, there's love, there's observance, there's wisdom, discrimination. And that gives me tremendous joy and power because I am aligned to the will of the universe. I'm true to myself, higher self. I don't need to make compromises in this space. And even when I appear to make a compromise, I'm still coming from the deepest point within me that is saying it is good to compromise. So I appear to compromise, but I'm still true to myself. Because the self is telling me, in this situation, it's good to compromise. And I just shift the ego a little bit, and compromise happens, but I'm true to the self inside. I'm doing the will of the divine. So when the ego becomes pliable, flexible, malleable, held in the self, then you feel supremely empowered in the play. Everything that the ego does is aligned to divine will. And that's what the Christ meant when he said, "Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven." That the will that is manifesting on the earth or on the material plane is aligned to the will of the self. So ego must be led by a higher self. And to see the grandeur of all of this, you need to open the mind. And the greatest help we can have on that journey is the guidance of the enlightened ones and their presence. Makes a big, big difference, and I can tell you that. The presence of the enlightened. There's nothing to compare than being touched by the presence. It doesn't need words. Doesn't need adoration. Doesn't need giving your power away. No, just align yourself to the field of the enlightened. Just align yourself. And that makes all the difference. You become that which you admire. So that's a plain truth. That's telling you as it is. Beyond the ego, there exists the self. Ego is only an instrument in the space. It's not the be-all and end-all of existence. No. It's an instrument of the self that makes the I. Learn to go beyond the I. Learn to see beyond the ego. By using the practice of witnessing without judgment. Open your consciousness to more than just the ego experience. And the best way to do that is being open to the Guru principle within you, Guru Tattva. So I leave this talk here, hoping that you can appreciate it as it is said. And hoping that your Sunday will be a little different because of this. And for those of you who've registered for the online course, I look forward to seeing you in my afternoon as we continue the exciting conversation on the ego and the higher selves. Have a blessed day, everyone. My soul bows to your soul. In oneness we exist. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace.